Hi, Divine Souls. I'm here to deliver a message for whenever in time and space this message reaches you. I've been in my little meditation for a couple of days now, and I've wrote down a couple of things I'd like to share with the collective. So whenever this message reaches you in whatever time and space, I hope that you're able to incorporate it to reach God consciousness. This is all what this is about. Okay? You know, when we think about the Bible, actually particularly the book of Enoch, right, there's this idea when the demons came down, when they fell from the heavens, they raped, pillaged, did all the lower level frequency stuff, and at some point Enoch came and told them that he had a dream. Okay. A dream in which one of the high angels was coming to actually, I think, kill them or something. All right. And when I think about these ideas of demons and angels, we're really talking about frequency of thought. Okay? Frequency of thought. And then as you keep ascending in consciousness, you're able to reach God consciousness. It means you've restored your vessel, your spirit with the God, you've aligned it with God, the oneness. Okay, and you can do this before or after death. Okay? It does behoove you to do it before death. This way you can experience heaven on earth while you're physically here. Okay, if not, then you'll just keep reincarnating until you actually become one with God. Okay? So there's higher level angels who we think of, like the archangels, Megatron, Michael, right? There's the different thought forms. They carry a certain frequency that not everyone can reach if they don't get past the demonic frequencies. Okay, the frequency of lust, the frequency of greed, the frequency of anger, pride. Okay, and Lucifer usually takes people off from the pride. That he usually picks people off at the pride, right? And so the point is that you want to keep doing these different lessons in a cycle while your body is just aging. Okay, and you keep redoing it. You stay in a repetitive hell. Okay, a loop, if you will, because you're not learning, you're not incorporating lessons. Okay, so that is what I had to say about that in particularly. Okay, now I watch another spiritual reader. He's in my resonance. His name is Nana Kwame. Shout out to you. He had this video that keeps coming up in my algorithm because I think I'm supposed to be talking about it, where he talks about chameleon spirits. These are the type of spirits who incorporate vessels, who take a little bit of every religion and they kind of make their own spirituality based off of that, right? Whether they go to Buddha for certain lessons, or they go to Christianity, or they go to the voodoo consciousness, or they go to, there's just like a mixing pot. And he makes this line where he says it's like a jollof of spirituality, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then you're eating this jollof of spirituality, which I think is hilarious. But when I sat down and I meditated on this after I laughed, because it was in resonance with me, right? Which is true. I've explored the Quran. I've explored the Bible. I have also taken certain meditations from different places and things in order to gain an understanding. But what I have seen in real life, when angels come to me in real life, all right, there's frequency. What are you crying about? You don't see me doing a video, huh? Stop it. Yes, there's different frequencies of thought that inhabit a vessel at certain times in your life, and you'll be able to see it. There's a resonance, right? And usually sometimes your body even has a reaction. The cells in your body start vibrating when someone is channeling an angel-like spirit. Frequency, resonance, high vibrational beings. They come down into certain vessels, right? Because they have a covenant with them. All right. And they've already transcended certain parts of this material life to be able to reach that frequency and consciousness, which is the angel. These are the angels you're talking about. When you're praying outside of yourself, you're asking for these entities, these thought forms, these spirits to guard your home, guard your vessel, this is your first home and your first vessel. Okay. And as you keep on doing it, say padla, padla, padla. Right? Shout out to Gogo in Yezi. Pause real quick. None of these things are out of your reach or out of your ascension. Okay, you're supposed to learn, incorporate, embody embody. So when I came across this divine person, he literally said this thing: we all have pieces to the puzzle. This is why people are making jollof spirituality, right? Because something that is being said is resonating to their spirit. Okay? When you get out the eyes of man, you're able to see resonance. You're able to see frequency and vibration. Okay? And this is an individual thing. No one can tell you your walk or your spiritual journey. Anything outside of you is compromised, including myself. Okay? I am just sharing with you my truth. And this is what you should be seeking throughout your entire life: truth. Because truth remains untarnished by man or the test of time. Truth will always rise to the top. Okay? People think that they could fake vibration. They think that they can fake frequency. It's another thing that he said. He said the chameleon spirit will be able to fake vibration, fake frequency, but not for long. It won't be able to sustain. Okay? They may have a glimpse, and they could even mirror what they're seeing. They can mirror these things. This is not that hard to do, right? And oftentimes they're mirroring your own vibration back to you, but they can't sustain it. Right? This is why spirituality requires patience for truth to be revealed. You cannot be moving in a reptilian mind, moving from this to that, this to that, this to that, future, past, da 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 da, you have to remain present. That is the true gift. Okay? But there's entities around you, and anybody could be compromised. It could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be your co-workers, your own children sometimes. Okay, depending on what they do when they go out into the world. Which spirits are they contracting with, knowingly or unknowingly? Unknowingly will be the part that people be getting them, right? Because you think you're in here for just a certain vibration, and the next thing you know, certain things attaching themselves to your aura field. You're not cleansing yourself. You're not meditating, because the world keeps you on a cycle loop, right? So when I call him Pan, right? When Pan, Satan, when that entity comes to collect on you are there, your vessel will be collected, your spirit will be collected. And this is when you experience these things called the dark night of the soul, where you could either go down, you can sink, or you can rise, right? Because everything is measured by the contents of your heart, right? So when we talk about doing meditation, when you talk about doing these kind of things, what you're doing is you're aligning your mind, right? And these certain messages to take roots in your heart. Your heart is very powerful. Whatever you attach emotional energy to opens a certain portal, a certain gateway. That's why patience is very important, right? Because you need to be fully aware in spiritual realm, in physical realm, which entities you are contracting with. Okay? Listening to certain music, okay, in any language, in any culture, what you're doing is you're invoking a spirit. And if your heart is pure, if your heart is beating strong, if you have love for yourself, if you have a high vibrational spirit, okay, and then you do these ritualistic things through dance, music, smoking, drinking, eating, sharing food is a ritual. You do it every day, you do it repetitively. You're now having a relationship with that spirit. So I also want to get back to the thought process of divine union, okay? Or union between man and woman, all right? Your sacral space is a portal, okay? Closest thing to your security, your vessel, okay? So as a woman, closest thing to God, right? Because everything comes through you. It comes to you and it comes through you, okay? All of these stories in the Bible, they're really talking about this relationship too with you as a woman, a divine being. Okay, you must operate divinely here on this physical realm as well, right? This is why the Bible was telling you about these certain things, okay, about choosing not okay, shout out to Nicole. She wrote this in her live the other day about listening to secular music, right? Because you're invoking a spirit through your vessel, which is a portal. Your vessel is a portal. As a woman, XX chromosome. Okay? So when we look at union between man and woman, you're looking at your subconsciousness. So whatever relationship you're in, that partner is going to reflect your subconscious mind in that moment in time. Okay? This is why you must not rush to bed someone, especially if you haven't completed a couple cycles. How is that person around you when you're on your menstrual cycle? Shout out to Nana Kwame, even though I've said this in a previous video as well. When you're on your menstrual cycle, during that time, you are divinely protected. That is the sacrifice. A lot of these other consciousness, they try to mimic what the woman's natural cycle is, because that is the closest thing aligned with nature and aligned with God. Okay? So if you have your menstrual cycle, which is your blood sacrifice without anybody dying, this is a natural thing. Holding yourself. You're literally protected by a spirit. You're protected by God during this time. So any toxic masculine energy, right? Ones that, and when I say this, I'm talking about the ones that are trying to dominate you or replace your Godhead, right? They want to interfere. They want the connection between you and God to have them right in the middle. Okay, and this doesn't just come in man form. Some women are infested with this energy. And matter of fact, sometimes if you live long enough and you start incorporating your own lessons in your spiritual journey, you'll have the eyes to see it. You'll have the eyes to see it. And it affects women and it affects men. This type of energy can only give when they think that you are now the supply to give it back in return. As you walk through life, you start realizing some things will be taken away from you. Okay? And instead of letting it go freely, you'll start griping like this. These are the type of people who will give you something, and then if you don't perform in the way they want you to perform, they'll take it away. Okay? That is not of God. God is an intricate energy. It's a one consciousness. Okay? Meaning if I give to you, it's because my spirit, God told me to give to you. I am part of that network. I may not get back directly from you. Right? I may not get back directly from you. Shit, I might not even get back. I might die tomorrow. This flesh may go back to the earth tomorrow. But before my flesh went back to the earth, I heard, go and give this person this thing. Sideways shortcut real quick. Even though I know I'm already doing this thing. But I remember, shout out to Gabby, right? At some point in my journey, I bought something for her. My intention was, Shamika's intention was, I am buying this for my friend. She came and I never gave it to her, to the point where it wasn't on purpose. I just forgot. And at some point I was just like, man, I actually kind of like this. Maybe I should keep it for myself. And I turned to another friend, right? And I said, when Gabby comes to my house, she asks for this, then you know this was really meant for her. Who set the intention? It was me. Who is not going back on the word? Because that's what my heart said, to give this to her. This was hers. Okay? She came, we were all laughing, and as soon as she left, she's like, hey, what's this? I looked at my friend who I told this, that we started to laugh, and Gabby was like, why are you guys laughing? I was like, nothing. I was like, that is meant for you. Okay? These are the little intricacies of life. When you realize what is meant for you will always be for you. Okay? So if you're holding on to relationships, holding on to certain frequencies out of any lack mentality, okay, what you're saying to God, the universe, the oneness, is that you don't feel confident in the consciousness of God. And from that, you start separating yourself. Okay? Another thing, if you're with a partner, okay, and they're infected with this energy as well, that same demonic energy that wants to have control and, this egoic nonsense. Okay? I want to get into, I call it a demon. It's a demon. It's a demon. What you want me to do? If it's not connected to God, it's a demon. All right? What was I talking about? See, you guys, you're talking too much. Relax. So if you are connected to this demonic force and then it's living in the covenant between you and your partner, okay, it will, in order for you to have connection with it, it has to feel in a way that it's the only energy that can that you allow disrespect to come from. Okay, so if others disrespect you, it would be like, oh, I'm protecting. But behind closed doors, it'll be the one doing the disrespecting or the one that's actually violating, causing harm to you, right? And then it will even cover down with the frequency of love, which is a ritual. If someone's treating you badly and then they say the word, I love you, you're only loving me by the form in which you show love to yourself. So if you abuse yourself and you say, I love you, that is you keep training your consciousness that this is what love is. And you're also doubling down that you don't know the love of God. You succumb to the frequency of fear quite easily. You succumb to the frequency of anxiety quite easily. This is why I say, if you want to see the content of someone's heart, look at their partner. If they're in a relationship, look at their partner. Look at their woman in particularly. Study that woman's cycle. Is she anxious? Is she fearful? Does she give way to the entity of consumerism? That means the union between them is there's an entity in the union. Whether the entity be addiction, right? Because that's the only reason why you get overly consumption. It could be that, and that takes forms in any ways. It could be gluttony through food. It could be through drugs, liquor. It could be through material stuff, consumption. And then they look for one another to replenish, when really they should be looking for God individually and then aligning themselves. Okay? But the thing is, people don't go through spiritual and mental maturity before they actually start being in union with people. Okay? And there's a toll. There's a price for that. There is a price for that. Okay? Each vessel that is walking the earth holds a consciousness. That consciousness is an illustration of God. This is why when people say there are many gods, no, there's many reflections of God. There's many reflections of God. Okay, but there's only one God. There's only one. Okay, now as that consciousness begins to communicate through speech, okay, through expression, because that's what spirits want to do. They want to express themselves. Okay, you get to see where on the spectrum of that consciousness of God they are on. Anger is also a consciousness of God. It is one that is far removed from the frequency of God, but it's still a reflection. You see this in nature as well, just natural, right? The thing that gives. Anger is a consciousness of God. It's just far removed from the oneness and the peace of God. This is why when people die, right, and the whole idea is that you die, then you're going to become one with God. No, you could become one with God while you're living. Your spirit is still living, right? The only two differences between death and the afterlife is your body. That's it. Okay? So do the work while you're here in physical flesh. This way you can ascend and be lighter, which you do many deaths all the time. When you go to bed, that is where you are consciously and spiritually. So these are many deaths before it leads to the big death. From the time you're born, you're done already dead. Okay? It's just during this time, you just buy in time really for you to gain certain consciousness awareness. So if you go to bed at night and you go to sleep and you're like, I'm okay with dying tonight, nothing is on my consciousness, my spirit is clean, you go to heaven. If your spirit's not clean, you go down to hell. Okay? And then from that point is where your body reincarnates. This is why it's a ritualistic thing. Your breath is a ritualistic thing. That is spirit. It's an exchange with God to allow you to have consciousness. All right. So while you're walking the earth, okay, and you're maturing spiritually, mentally, physically, okay, showing love to yourself, whatever that may look like, okay, because you might be programmed to see love in a certain way when really it's supposed to be a peaceful, harmonic thing. Okay, it doesn't come from a state of lack. Okay, so you don't need anything outside of yourself. Okay, you align with things, especially when you're following your most high frequency, the most high frequency. Okay, so I know there's different consciousness, right? There's Yahweh consciousness, there's voodoo consciousness, Christian consciousness, which is Yahweh consciousness and with a different accent. Right? These are just consciousness. That's it. You don't worship that. Okay? You understand divine alignment with God. All right? What else? There was also something about those who were born in the darkness. Okay? So there was a time where everything was high vibrational. Everything was in union, right? The cycle of life was complete, right? No one was trying to insert themselves or to disrupt the union between God and all the living organisms here on earth. Okay? There wasn't someone trying to play God at that moment in time, right? There was peace. And when that time, you knew which souls are reincarnating and you knew what their purpose was. Okay? Because everyone was so in tune and harmonious in that environment, one with nature, that they were able to see the algorithm and see the pattern. Divine wisdom, and from that they were able to build societies as well. Everyone had a particular role, but many things were lost. Okay, if you're in my timeline, my time and space, because that is still existing somewhere. Okay, we're talking about when you come here in Babylon things. I'm going to talk about Babylon, put a pin on it. Okay, people had awareness when they gave birth to a child, which is a sacred act. They had awareness of what that child's soul came here to do. There wasn't just little psychics. Everyone was operating on high vibes. So everyone, you could talk to each other without speaking words because they were in unison, in step. When you're looking for your divine partner, this is the kind of energy you want to be on. High vibrational. We share one mind, one spirit, one physical vessel, even though we are physically, your physical vessel when you're in union, like when you're having intercourse or having that connection. But when we are separated, we still maintain spiritual oneness because we've cultivated a high energy around that field. Okay? This is why it's important that the Bible talk about equally yoked, meaning that one is not too low and one is not too high. Then you're only sharing fragmented pieces. Okay? And a lot of times marriage is a actual sentence for your spirit, especially if your partner is not respecting you, especially if your partner doesn't love themselves. They can't love you if they can't love themselves. So if they're going down too low, they're dragging you down with them into hell. Because they're worshiping a lower level frequency, a demon spirit, whether it be lust, greed. All right? But yes, there was a high vibrational time. So there's some, right? We talk about the kids who were born into darkness, who don't know. A lot has happened a lot here, especially with broken families. Okay? So when you're born into a situation where you feel naturally there's supposed to be a void, there's a void here. There's an energy missing that was supposed to help with the building the consciousness. You are now born in the darkness. Your parents didn't say we had a dream, or they themselves weren't spiritually or mentally mature enough. This is why you have babies making babies, people having kids and when they're 13, 12, 19, 20. These are young ages to be bringing forth portals. Okay? But you still must take in that everything happens for a reason. There's still a divine play happening. Okay, so your life has purpose. You just have to be able to choose. So these are the children we're talking about, born into darkness. Okay, they have to be able to, and this is not just in America, this is all across the globe. Okay, These are particular spirits that even with the odds against them, they're able to rise. Very powerful spirits. Any child that has had any kind of trauma inflicted onto them, your spirit was already marked to be something supposed to be powerful here on this earth. But they're hoping that they're able to take that away from you, this entity that lives in a lot of men. Okay, men and women at this point, because a lot of people have been infected by it. Okay, but it's this idea when certain men got upset with God, right? Wanted to be God. Were envious of God. They were like, let me control this frequency, right? And so they went to the women who were the closest thing to God, and they tried to dominate through trauma, and they infected other women with this darkness, and then they became handlers to other women. Okay? To keep that state of trauma going and going, because they are also operating from a state of lack. And then this is what gives way to entities of jealousy. Well, why this girl had to have it? Now she got the man, and now you're fighting over this nonsense. You're inverted. Because you've forgotten that what is meant for you will be for you. We're not in competition. We were in competition. You're not moving from your heart space. They made you just like man. Unable to see. Blinded. Worshipping lower level emotions. As soon as you start comparing yourself to other people, you forget your own divine purpose. And it's very subtle. It's a very subtle energy that creeps in, that tries to get into your vessel and plant root into your heart. It's a virus. Lack mentality. So like I was saying, if you were born and you had something, you are supposed to be powerful. And what we're hoping for, what I see, is that these lost children, or these children who were born in the darkness, okay, shout out to Bane, created in the darkness, okay, we're able to go inward to reconnect to the divine consciousness of God and then follow their purpose. Aligning themselves with true angels and angels along the way, because you will be tested. This is what is it? Hidden knowledge is well earned. Well earned. And we dig our own holes. You have to be able to come out. And the only way you could come out is by going in. That was good. Okay. No Diddy. All right? Stop. All right. God experience yourself in the present without attachment. That is the power of the presence. Okay? God experiences herself in the present moment. Okay? In the present, everything lies. The truth lies. Don't be moving out of no desperation. Okay? So let's see. Thoughts anchor into your heart. It's important to guard your heart. You can't do that if you're moving from a lack frequency. Okay, lack frequency gets you guys doing a lot of things. So remember, you live the first part of your life, and then you mature. The longer you live, the more you can mature, right? If you don't get nicked off. Okay? And when you're not following your aligned mission, or you're in a wrong space and time, you're in another universe that you don't belong, things will start coming to you. You're not aligned with this space. So make sure you're following your internal compass, okay? In order to get to your purpose. That is divine consciousness, when you're aligning yourself with your particular purpose, and no one else outside of you can tell you about that. No one. No one can. No one can. There's only angels and certain frequencies along your way that can help you gain understanding. But even after you come off this video, even after you finish watch Ralph Smart for the 25th time this week, all right, you still have to go inward. You still have to process and embody the consciousness. Okay? Okay. God consciousness is neutral. All right, so this is what I'm saying. Anytime you say there's many gods, you've already separated. You've showed where you are consciously. Now you're fragmented. You are not at the pinnacle when understanding that everything is one. Okay? All of these frequencies, right? All of these frequencies, these emotional channels that you have, they're all just reflections. That's it. It's God and then reflections of God. Choose your reflections wisely. All right, we're not going to get into that right now. There's a lot of downloads here, but I'm trying to put them all in these little bites. Okay, your heart is soul expression and it reveals the truth. What you love loves you too. Okay, different spirits want to express itself. I'm just reading some of these notes out loud, but I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just end. We're about 30 minutes in. I'm just going to end with a reading. I'm going to be using the Divinations, the Energy Readers Oracle deck. If you'd like to purchase, hit me up on Instagram. And then I'm going to go do something else. Okay. Thank you, God, creator of all things known and unknown. Please guide my best over this message on the highest possible frequency for the divine alignment for all those involved, divine wisdom, power, and glory out of all those who've come before me. I praise God in all tongues, all languages. I ask for the highest possible frequency to deliver this message for who needs to hear it when they need to hear it, whenever this video finds you. All right. So I've got a couple different things here. I'm going to be reading the bottom two. So we say, shall you proceed? Yes, indeed. We also have the Streetwalker card here. Okay. Hermit mode is officially over. Streetwalker energy is not just for those soliciting. It's time to put on a cute outfit and go outside. We all deserve to feel attractive and be social. Now is the time to go to a gathering, be yourself, and shine bright. Walk through your city. Do you feel electricity streaming through the main streets? Absorb this energy and allow it to bring you new experiences. It's time to share your vibration with the world. Breathe and flow with the current. We got Pisces energy here on the board. Okay, but another word is standing out is to me, the universe. Okay, now when you're moving, when you're absent of fear, okay, so I know a lot of times people go into hermit mode because they're scared or whatever the case may be, but sometimes that's just for an inner reflection part, right? You do the inflection, you embody all the stuff that you are coming in, and you arm yourself with that spirituality. Spirituality is like a cloth. It protects you. It protects you. Okay, so everything that you do is spiritual. Okay. All right, so it's now time to experience that vibration with the world. I know right now in this space and time this week there's a lot of holidays as well as the new year here in the northern hemisphere of the planet. Okay, so you're going to be social most likely. Make sure that you're arming yourself with the spiritual side of things, your spiritual wealth. Let that protect you. Okay, remember to be consciously aware of all the rituals that you're partaking in and who's present in that ritual. Okay, so if you know someone is struggling with certain aspects in their life, okay, and you want to now come drink with this entity, make sure you understand this is a contract that's happening. Okay, the universe here is here to protect you, but like I said, you're a conscious person now. This video will not find you if you were not able to receive the message. So now you are consciously aware. Awareness is half the battle. So I'm in your head. So as you're moving around in the world, okay, you have a decision to be made. Okay, you align yourself with the best possible timeline, best possible alignment. So you arm yourself with that as you're walking these streets. That is your protection. That is your protection. Okay? And then we also have revenge. They say hurt people hurt people. This is true. However, what they fail to mention is the spiritual price tag for premeditative karma issuance. When you rush to retaliate and react without natural alignment, you curse your future creations. Give your troubles to God/the universe. There's no better revenge than divinely orchestrated karma. There's no better revenge. Okay? To break the spell, the entity of revenge that may take seat in your heart as you're walking through this earth, okay? Your human side of you is extremely petty. It is. But remember, especially what season we're in Capricorn season. This is Satan's season. Okay? And whatever frequency you heard when you heard that is what I'm talking about. Okay? It's karma. Including when you put yourself, if you decide that I am going to take it upon myself to stand in between God and that other person's soul progression. So if someone did something to you and you decided to go in between that, all right, you're going to get whatever it was that the universe was already conspired to in order for that lesson to come back around. You're going to be you're going to take some of that heat because you decided to insert yourself in that person's soul ascension and growth. But don't be scared to go outside and don't be scared to interact with people. Now, for me in particularly, because I am who I am, when I leave the house and I go out places, sometimes I have to really be patient because not everybody's operating on a certain level of consciousness, right? There's a lot of stupidity out here. And I don't mean this insultingly. I mean it in a way of showing that they're ignorant. And just like children, just like certain dogs, you know, if they don't know, they don't know. So choose wisely. Choose who you're partaking in spiritual contracts wisely, including sex. I said it. Okay? Including sex. That's probably the most important one because that's like direct link into your vessel, into your brain. To break the spell of revenge, you can say, I surrender the power of my inner demon, the ego, to the Most High God to be used for the best possible alignment of the universe. I choose not to be petty. I choose not to be petty. I choose not to be petty. Okay? These people are not threats to you. They're not God. You're just playing a certain role in everyone's life in order for them to incorporate the lesson. So when you move, when you separate, scatter, you sit down and you reflect. What did I learn from this interaction with this individual? One, that everyone operates in their own perspective and their own orb, their own world. When our worlds merge through physical contact or proximity, right? You gather what lessons you need to gather for your own soul ascension. I will gather what I need to gather for my own soul ascension. There should not be animosity here. If you do nonsense and it has hurt my heart, God knows. God knows your heart. God knows the intention. God also understands projection. Because God knows your spiritual journey. God knows that your level of consciousness, because God knows herself. God is aware of herself. God is aware of demon. God is aware of ego. God is aware of the lower level energies of man. So we don't take it personal. All right. So on the bottom, we do have oneness here. Okay. Yin and yang meet in the negative polarity. You will attract your opposite polarity as you ascend in consciousness. How you navigate these interactions will determine what you will experience in the next karmic cycle. Hello? You hear it? Okay? Your existence is not a threat to me. My existence is not a threat to you. It never was. We're just reflecting to gain knowledge, our lessons through our life. You can say this mantra anytime you experience an entity spirit of jealousy, hate, anger, confusion, or deception in your auric field. Now, whether it be you, whether it be the people around you, but if you're listening to this message, most likely it's not really you. I'm just going to say it right now. Or you're trying to ascend that. If it is you and you do have this, you have these energy of jealousy, deception, confusion, we're asking you in particularly, don't be petty about it. That's it. But go outside. Okay, don't be operating in fear. You can't, now you a hermit. No, it's not hermit mode. It's not hermit mode right now. Go outside, be social, smile. Have confidence in your spiritual growth. Have confidence in the oneness with God. Be patient. Because everything aligns in time. Everything is revealed in time. Okay? When you're moving in purpose, everything aligns to come support that purpose. No one can stop that. So, as you go through this holiday season and you are now entering into the new year, make sure that you are aware of your karmic load, okay? What you're carrying, okay? You are going to be faced with a dark night of soul. I felt it glimpsely yesterday, right? And I'm starting to see it. I'm feeling it, and I'm starting to see it. Remember, we all were once there. You cannot be. It's impossible to be holier than thou, right? Because when you're whole, that's it. You're just whole. That's it. Okay? When you're one with God, you're just one with God. There is no fence. There's no multiple gods. You're not confused. All right? That is part of the negative polarity, when you're operating confusion. Confusion gives way to more confusion. So in the sea of confusion, remain whole. Okay? Remain whole. Try your best as you're traversing through these streets, that you remember, that you keep that meditation strong. I am one with God. Now, certain things that you say, remember, it comes back. Okay, so you can't, that vibration is very, very powerful, especially depending on which vessel it's coming out of. So make sure you're saying it and it's incepting your heart. Because at that point, you can't move outside the frequency. We also have Pisces energy over here. I'm just going to read it just because it's here, okay? Deeply mysterious, yet somehow you feel safe. This energy signifies a state of high intuition and closeness to the infinite power of the universe, God. You travel through timelines and worlds consciously. You don't move out of alignment. You don't do things just to do it. There's always intention. Align with your best possible timeline, and that's the intention. Do you open these doors or portals? You say this: I open this door to my best possible timeline. In the positive polarity, all of the downloads are here, and you have the resources to use them. Okay? Intuitive connections have an electrifying effect. In the negative polarity, this energy can give way to paranoia. Be adaptable like the amphibians. The unknown is vast. Remember to pace yourself through patience. Remember that, okay? Steady your heart and ground your consciousness. Breathe and flow with the current. Make sure to ground this energy, as it may sometimes be overwhelming. Okay? Just don't live above your britches. Okay? Know yourself. Okay? Know your level. All right? Know your level. Know your level.